Alright, so basically, rest in peace to Cyrus or Star 67 or wifiskeleton, whichever name you know him by. Rest in peace to him. Um, on May 5th, it was around like at night, at least at my time period. It was announced like at night. On May 5th that he passed, and most of us didn't really know, didn't find out till like the morning of May 6th. It hasn't been confirmed. At least I still don't think it has. I can look up while I'm talking real quick, but it hasn't really been confirmed as to how he passed. Though it's been speculated that he possibly, it's either two things: either he overdosed or he took his own life. And this was after he it was after he like made some very concerning post about taking his life, I think. I haven't Yeah, I haven't like fully checked in. I'm looking up right now just to see if it's confirmed, if he like exactly how, but it's still a mix between like if he like overdosed or he took his own life in some other way. But yeah, it's wild to see that he just did that. Now, talking about this, I know talking about this is kind of tricky, because he is controversial because he has some allegations regarding talking to minors. Now, I will admit I haven't fully delved into those allegations. I've known about him because I've known about him through his music for a long time, like during quarantine. But I'm not. I didn't check. I didn't fully like get into like the whole allegations thing. Uh, but I know me talking about him is probably tricky. But there's still. I feel like within this, there's still some things that need to be said, that because it's been on my mind heavy, and things that really need to be talked about more. And just my there's like a little bit of my opinion on certain things. Um, Now it's it's important to state, to that I stated, um like his different names, because most of you probably knew him through Cyrus, the commentary YouTube channel. Um, People like me, there's people like me who mainly knew him through his music, which under Star 67 or Wi-Fi Skeleton, um, or that very short period when he went under by I'm Gone, that didn't before he rebranded back to Star 64. So some of us we don't know that connection. I didn't know that connection to Cyrus because I never watched Cyrus, so I didn't know, like he was the same person. Like I didn't know he made commentary until just recently after he passed. I didn't even know he was Star 64, because okay, I knew about Star 64 since quarantine. I didn't know he switched to Wi-Fi Skeleton, though I did notice, like the voices sounded similar, but again, under Star 64, he rapped. He more so rapped, and he would change. He have his voice pitched up, whereas Wi-Fi skeleton is more of his actual voice, and he's doing less rapping and more of like a emo rock, I guess you could say. I can't really genre on a particular genre, but even then, um, there's people who, and there's plenty of y'all who know about the connection because um even back then at the time when the allegations were circling around, or like the exposed videos were circling around, it would you normally say like Sir 67 or Cyrus, and then Cyrus, and then Star 64 at the same time. Sorry, 67, not 64, at the same time, and it was a whole mess. Um, but the reason why I'm feeling compelled to talk about it, because I don't talk about death about my channel ever. Like, I think the last time I ever talked about it literally was when X passed. I don't normally talk about death, but this, especially with him being as young as he is, and being literally like around like literally my age range, and having to having suffered through um like mental issues and suicidal thoughts, that it resonates with me to a degree. I don't have mental issues, but, well, I guess you could say depression could be one. Like, I used to have that. I used to go through that. Um, I used to go through suicidal thoughts. I'm not gonna dive into that, but just know that I had those at too young of an age at that. But it, like, despite all the controversy surrounding his name, it I don't believe he deserved to suffer through these thoughts and feel the need to take his own life, because I'm trying to formulate as I y'all know me with my talking videos. It's not scripted, but it's it's tough seeing that he passed, because this is something that could have been avoidable had he gotten proper help, like, especially like during the time when he was talking to minors, because this gon' this this gonna be a risky take, but I feel like it's a take that I've been wanting to vocalize for a long time. People can change. People can change, especially people as young as us, because again, we're in the same age range. So people as young as us, we, what I'm saying, people can change. So, like, when he was, allegedly talking to minors, and I'm hoping it only stayed that way. It was just talking to him. He didn't do anything physical. Um, you can change. Like, you can. Someone could have stepped in and, like, try to help him, give him proper help, and to get him out of that mind, to get him out of that mindset, because you don't just wake up one day and then just feel, just, oh, I want to talk or do something with kids. Like, no, it's a series of series of factors. It's a series of factors that lead up to having a mindset where you believe doing that is acceptable to you, regardless if, like, that it's not acceptable, like, ever. But to believe that you can do it, that it's okay for you to do it, it's a series of factors that play into that could have been avoided in some way, shape, or form. And had he gotten help during that time, and to help him get him out of that mindset, and understand, like, what led him to believing that this was fine, I feel like this could have been avoided, or if he had a proper, like, comfort space where you feel like he could reach out and talked about. Because first off, being a man, you're already, we're already pushed with that notion that, our feelings don't matter. So that's just automatic. Like, we just automatically get told that, get that shoved down our throats. So that's why we feel inclined to stay quiet about how we feel and what we're going through, unless it's even like, even to each other, like to other men, we're so very, like, very decisive as to who we tell. Because, like, you probably have, like, a friend group who you think you could trust to tell these things with, and they'll probably laugh at you, like, joke about it. They'll, like if they're really sick, they'll, like, try to egg you on to do something. Or, you have a friend group who's really supportive, and they're genuinely trying to help you. But because of what we're led to believe, we're scared to open up, and that will lead us oftentimes to be too quiet for our own good. Being too quiet to speak up to friends, any friends or family, even the people we trust the most. We just feel inclined to keep our feelings to ourselves. And especially when you're going through, and then now, like, that will lead to destruction, and leads you to a position where now you're under fire for doing something, and now people hate you and tell you that you don't deserve love, or you don't deserve help or nothing. Now you feel extra inclined to not talk about anything. Excuse me for a second. To to talk about feelings, talk about, like, if you're, I'm feeling down, I'm feeling depressed, having these thoughts, like, and you're in a position now where it's like you feel as if you can't really trust anybody to talk about these things with. It's like being under fire now, and you feel like you're losing everything, or like you have to restart fresh with everything. It's terrible. If, like, I know it must have felt terrible for him to be going through that. And I'm not, and this isn't me, like, in any way, shape, or form condoning his actions. Well, I'm hoping that my message doesn't allude to that. But I'm just saying, even though, like, he did those things, it's still possible for him to change. It's like, for somebody, especially for somebody as young as him. Like, if it was somebody that was like 35, 45, like 50, yeah, they can still change. But free, like you must have had that mindset for like a long, for like a while, like if that old, cause it's weird. It's weird. Like with ages is kind of like with ages is kind of weird, but especially like being as young as he was, you can still change from that mindset because I hate this online this media notion in general, not just online, where you mess up once, you mess up one time, whether it be like minor or major, people are gonna people are gonna hold that over your head, no matter how long you stay, no matter how long you stay on your platform or stay whatever, no matter like they'll continue to hold that over your head to an extent where it feels like the best thing for you to do is just either disappear or sadly no longer be here, no longer live, because it's like you live, like you go through that one mistake and there's no such thing as redemption, there's no such thing as change. You can't be a better person from that. You can. I always believe that even making a mistake like that, from like the mistakes that he did, you can still grow and become better from that with with the proper help, if you search to get it, or if you have people that are willing to help you get that help. Like, mm, my fault, yo. Like he deserved better. I don't know his exact deck of cards in life, what he went through in his past, and I don't know him personally at all, or I don't know any of the people that knew him. So is we don't know what he could have went through, what factors in his life would have led him to have this mindset, and then will lead him to become, have these mental issues, and will lead him to, unfortunately, um, take his life. But I, I genuinely believe that he deserved better. He deserved a, he deserved better. He deserved a better circle to be around. And I'm not saying, the friends that the friends that were there and that announced his passing, and were more in our mourning over his passing. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm not saying that they're bad friends, because I don't like. I don't. I'm like, I don't blame them. Like, I don't blame that they actively tried to help him, and actively try to help him, actively try to get him help, and this and the third. It's just like, as at certain points of your life, you should have had, like, you should have been in a better circle, and all that, and things do carry over. Like, the bad stuff that happened within one friend group could carry over to the next. Like, your feelings could carry over to the next, and things will continue to carry over until you get the proper help. So it's very important to anybody, especially men, but to this very much for anybody, that that you it's important that you not only love yourself, learn to love yourself, learn to understand the people that you're around and their influences, learn learn that it's okay to talk about your feelings, learn that it's okay to open up, learn that it's okay to seek help if you're dealing with mental issues or depression. And this is, excuse me again, this is coming from me who, during my down period, I'll just call it that, I was very much scared of talking to, you know, seeking, talking to anybody or talking to a therapist. I think I only told like one person ever, but, seeking, well, actually, I did seek and it led to some weird, strange events. But, and even when I did see a therapist, it was it was really my mom's therapist, you could say, because my mother has anxiety, so sometimes it gets really bad, and you might need some might need therapists to help guide them and help how to like calm themselves and know what to do like when they go through attacks and stuff. Um, I was seeing that same therapist, and I felt scared to even admit what I was truly feeling, so I lied, and I know a lot of people have done that as well. Like they've been scared to admit what they've been feeling because they don't want it to escalate. They don't want it to escalate. They don't want to end up in a mental hospital because that's a scary experience. So I lied and say like in well, she didn't like hyper focus on it. She was trying doing her best to uplift me without focusing on it, and I appreciate that. But at that time, I was scared, so I lied and just try to get out of it as try to get out of having to go back as much as I could. And that fear of not wanting it to escalate more than you wanted to, like, cause for the most part, we don't like some people do need genuine help and need to seek people to help them. Maybe medications, I don't know, but for the most part, we just need somebody to open up to and to talk to. That's all we really need. We don't need any extra help. We don't really need like therapy or, well, we might, but we don't really we don't need therapy, or we definitely don't need to go to no mental hospital, don't need no medication. We just need somebody to talk to. We just need a comfortable shoulder to cry on. That's all we would really want. And it's it's we feel as if it's very difficult to even ask for that, even the ones closest to us, because we're afraid of it escalating it anywhere, that we it escalating it to to levels that we don't want it to go. So like into different degrees, I'm not like I don't know Cyrus's exact extent of how what he was going through, but in plenty of extents, I understand, and that's why his death resonate like it, it's weird saying it like this, but it resonated with me, not because of like, not only because of I genuinely like his music, but because him being so young and taking his life, and just feeling as if he didn't, like, he was just done with life. There's no help. That really, this is the only answer. This the only thing left for him to do. It it just, it hurts deeply seeing anybody, especially my age or younger, having to feel like this in any way. It hurts, it hurts generally for anybody, but of course it's gonna resonate with you more because of your age range, especially if you're younger, you know. But yeah, that's really just the gist of what I wanted to, of the the messages that I wanted to push out regarding his death, because there's messages that deserve to be said. Um, Again, rest in peace to him, and um, it's very unfortunate. It could have been very preventable. He could have been helped. He deserved help, which I know some of y'all may or may not, may disagree with that, considering what he did before. But like I said, I personally believe that people can change, even if, like, they do stuff and it leads to physical. It's irredeemable. Yes, it's, and like, it'll permanently stain you, but you can still become better from those moments. You can still grow and become better. That's always a possibility. That's always a possibility. I don't believe there's anything. I don't believe there's there's no such thing as there's. I don't think there's. It's. I don't know. This is weird, but I don't really think there's a such thing as too late, because realistically, too late will be you're dead. Too late will be that you're dead. But as long as you're still here, as long as you're still here, as long as you live, you still have a chance to redeem yourself. And you don't necessarily have to redeem in the eyes of people, because they can believe whatever they want to believe, and if they don't want to believe you, that's whatever. You can't force them to believe. You can't force them to like you. But redeeming for your, like, doing things for yourself is the most important. You matter most out of anybody. You matter the absolute most. So redeeming for yourself, even when you've done wrong, is important. Is the most important, and that's what should be focused. But that's really just what I wanted to convey. Rest in peace to him once again, and um, if you know him under, by his YouTube channel, then his videos, well, his re-up, because he deleted his channel, his his re-uploads will live on, and if you know him through music like I do, then his music will live on. Um, with that, I'll see you whenever.